Hello and welcome back to Billy Ho Sports. This week had another awesome weekend at Saratoga. I wanted to recap the Jim Dandy Stakes and go over a couple of things. This show is going to be like a Jim Dandy recap and just kind of an assessment of how the weekend went for me betting wise. I got a couple of things to show you there in that department, a couple bad beats and whatnot. We all have those, right? So anyway, after that, we're going to get to the Travers Stakes, which is coming up next month at Saratoga. That's like the Kentucky Derby in the middle of the summer, basically, for the 3-year-olds. So we're going to have a rematch of several horses and a few that probably haven't faced each other yet. Some new shooters, and everybody can just kind of, we'll throw everybody in a hat and shake them out and see who comes out on top, likely and most likely to run. So what we're going to do is start with the bad beats. I think I had a stretch that could have made my weekend Saturday, and it started with race 8. I had 10-1 Satin Blue win place bet. Was the 6 horse coming out of the gate here. You see he nearly goes to his knees right out of the gate and then gets completely pinballed back and forth by the two horses that are to each side of him. So horrific start. Even the announcer said it. If you had this horse bet, you got a gripe. And so anyway, I thought he was pretty much out of the race, and then he somehow comes back, gets back into the race, got into the stretch, and got to the outside, and was coming like a freight train down the stretch, and just came up a neck short of beating the I forgot who won that race, but anyway, he paid $10 to place, so I got some money out of it. But it could have been, 10-1. It could have been a really, really big hit for me. Then, very next race, race 9, 4-1, Navy SEAL, win place bet, clear down the stretch. And then, as it often happens on turf races, I wasn't really as upset about this one. He got nailed at the wire, lost by a neck or something like that. But it was just a tough beat because he looked so good coming down the stretch, and I thought we had it. Got a little place money off of that, but I mean 4-1 winners. That's what I'm looking for. Billy Ho Sports. We look for those value plays. So that leads me into the Jim Dandy. Not so much a value play, but I did have Sierra Leone pick to win the race and finished another close second. So I had 3 straight second place finishes. I don't really feel bad about that one because Fierceness was just a horse that I was really backing in the Kentucky Derby. I was really high on him, even that 17th post way out there. I still thought I bet him to win that race. I still thought he had it, and he didn't get it done. And not as oftentimes we kind of shy away from those horses coming down the pike again. So I'm happy to see him get it done. But I did think the race just set up perfectly for Sierra Leone to run him down late. I thought Fierceness would be the one in the lead, which he was. But Fierceness was on his game. He was able to break from the outside, no resistance, dictated pace. Johnny V, I thought, made a brilliant move when they hit the turn for home. He took Fierceness wide, extra wide on the turn to prevent Sierra Leone from getting to his outside and then drifting in or taking any chances on any drifting issues. So he kept Sierra Leone to his inside, which pretty much sealed the deal. And then it was just a race to the wire after that. Sierra Leone had it exactly the way he wanted it. He drifted. It wasn't really a drift. He just made the inside move after Fierceness was so far out and hit that stretch and had the rail and was coming hard down the stretch. And actually lost in all this was Batten Down, who made a monster move right there in the middle of the stretch and looked like he was just trying to punk Sierra Leone. But Sierra Leone buckled down and ran by Batten Down. But Batten Down was a clear third, which Bill Mott's horse I thought had a good showing there. And so he's one to keep an eye on. But it wasn't super disappointing, but I'm sure the connections. Chad Brown is disappointed once again with the failed another big chance to win a race and just didn't get there. So anyway, quick reminder, two important things. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. And by clicking that like button, you are helping spread the word across the YouTube community to promote horse racing in general and get like-minded racing fans together so we can all benefit from each other's wisdom. And I appreciate that very much. Thank you for all the support. Let's continue. Now, what I want to do is preview some of the likely contenders for the Travers next month. I don't think we see fierceness. The 10 furlongs is one. Pletcher was non-committal. He wants to make sure he's okay. He does seem to have these every other race. Everybody says it, but every other race, it may just take him longer to recover, or he just may need. He just puts that one big race together, and then he just has to reset. So maybe they'll start giving him longer off. I'm not really sure. But I think the 10 furlongs is an issue for him. Also, the owners are the same. It's Repo and St. Elias Stables, who also own Mindframe, who, if they send Mindframe, they've been trying to keep those two separate. But they said if it so happens that they're both in there together, then they'll just settle it on the track. So they're not opposed to running them both in the same race, but we'll have to see. Like I said, my opinion is I think Fierceness skips this one. Sierra Leone, I think, will be there. I think he's ready for the 10 furlongs, and this should be the classic distance for him to put him over the top. I think Seize the Gray goes the way Dean Wayne Lucas is. He likes to run him. I think Seize the Gray likely peaked in the Preakness, but he's going to go to the Travers, I think, too. Haskell winner Dornock is going to go, I think, and Indiana Derby champion Dragoon Guard, I think, will also try to put his hat in the ring as well. Now, adding to the intrigue of the race, Bob Baffert, he's got two. Parenting, which is a relatively newish horse coming down the pike, but most importantly, Muth. We have not seen Muth run since the Arkansas Derby, pre-Kentucky Derby Trail. So we're talking way back in like April. Scratched out of the Preakness, obviously not eligible. FYI, big news: Bob Baffert is a free man now. I haven't heard anybody really talk about that, but I haven't watched a whole lot or listened to a whole lot of podcasts. But Bob Baffert's suspension at Churchill Downs is over, so he will be back in the saddle again, so to speak. And so anyway, back to Muth, scratched out of the Preakness. Wasn't quite ready. I thought that he wanted to go either Jim Dandy or Haskell coming up, but I think especially he wanted Jim Dandy just because of the 3-year-olds. But he wasn't quite ready, is what they said. And also Parenting had a little bit of a setback virus too. So anyway, on a lesser note, before we get to the big story, a horse I'm looking forward to seeing again, and at least seeing him get a decent trip, is Honor Marie. Whit Beckman trains this horse. Very excited about this closer going 10 furlongs again. And if no interference, I think will be a great value play. You can that I would pump right now. I think this horse is a good closer. I think he can come down the stretch. He's been battered and beaten both in the Kentucky Derby and in the Belmont. Sierra Leone really cleaned his clock coming down the stretch. Got him twice, really. Got him coming out of the gate when he hopped back and forth, and then got him down the stretch when he started drifting in the Belmont and almost knocked him into the rail. So looking forward to seeing Honor Marie again. And the big news, obviously, Kenny McPeak came out last Saturday during Jim Dandy Day and announced that his Kentucky Oaks and top female 3-year-old, maybe the overall top 3-year-old, Torpedo Anna, is going to the Travers. She's going to take on the boys, and I think many, as I do, see her as a big-time contender, and can't wait. And I can't argue that either. The thing of it is, when you get horses like this that are like generational types, you need to run them against the boys, because She just ran in the American Oaks, and they could only get 4-horse field. So we don't want $500,000 purses and graded one stakes events with 4-horse fields. That race, if she wasn't in it, probably gets 8. So you have to keep that in mind. So it's going to be good. So that's just kind of a quick first look at who's in, who's out, things of that nature. Lots of content coming in this week. Join me for this week's big race, which is the Whitney Stakes at Saratoga. That's where we're going to see National Treasure take on some heavy hitters like Skippy Longstocking and First Mission. So ask again, subscribe to the channel, smashing that like button, setting your notification bells. All those good things help me out tremendously. And you also don't miss out on any of the action. Also, don't forget to get over on X, formerly Twitter. Follow me at Billy Ho Sports. Thanks for watching, and we will see you soon.